Two moms, two marketers, two women new to the financial industry. They have a lot of questions. That's why they're bringing in financial experts to educate all of us here on A Penny or Two for Your Thoughts.
This isn't our episode?
Oh, this is it. Oh, we're starting?
We're in it?
We're in it?
Or
Are we in it to win it?
okay. Yeah, because guess what?
What?
I'm Chantel,
And I'm Liz.
and this is another episode of
A penny or two for your thoughts.
See how good that was? Oh,
Man, she shimmied with it too.
Next-
Unfortunately, our listeners can't see that, so they just you're gonna just next time you're gonna have to wear like a necklace that jingles so they
Jingle,
can
jingle,
hear
jingle.
the shimmy.
yeah. That was from episode or season 1, right? Our
Season
first
one, episode
one when I shimmied. Oh, long story, listeners.
one. Was that take 1 or take 4?
probably 4 in that elephant looking sweater I
Yeah,
was
that's
wearing.
right.
Made
You-
me look like an elephant.
You thought you looked like an elephant, and I thought I looked like I was from a bakery showing you all my bakery rolls.
Oh, so
And I was afraid people
so
were going to
many-
want to order biscuits, and I was going to have to tell them no.
So many episodes ago. So, listener,
International, by the way.
yeah, for sure. We do have international listeners.
We
It's
do.
pretty awesome. We are a little bit spicy today, so we're gonna apologize in advance for anything that happens
Yeah.
today.
Disclaimer. Should we do like
It
a
is for
Oh.
your health.
Yeah.
Please be
viewer,
seated.
viewer discretion advised?
yes.
So we have to change that. Listener discretion advised.
So I have another story to tell you.
Oh,
that
I
didn't
love
tell
this.
you last time.
Yes, I
no,
love how
this actually happened this morning.
okay. Last time she held a story from me.
And it was about a cat. So if you haven't listened to that episode, make sure you tune in. So this morning I was walking
Well,
because
that's
we're
good.
on this wellness path at work, and we're all like holding everybody accountable, and I love it. And I'm walking and I'm almost home. And it's still a little, I mean, it's getting lightish out, and a rabbit jumps out of like the air, out of like nowhere in front of me, and I almost step on it. And so I do this like awkward dance in the middle of the street and scream at the said rabbit. So I'm just going to tell anybody who's in my neighborhood who may have a Ring camera, if you got that on video, you are going to have like $1 million winner right there
Yep.
from the dance that I did. So that's where we're going with this podcast today. We are going to have a dancing craziness thing happening. No, everybody's looking at me like.
So like you basically did the bunny hop in the middle of the street.
Yeah, bunny. Yeah, so that happened today.
And
So
we just lost every single listener.
I know we did. Okay. What else? What else is going on in your
See what
life?
else? What else is new? That's 4th of July week.
Yes. What's your
Yeah.
favorite firework, or one that you?
The one
did?
that doesn't blow up in my hands. No,
Good
as a
choice.
kid, I'll know like just memories like growing up, my mom and I would always light those snakes. Do you remember those?
Oh yes.
And we'd always try to light. We got to a point where we're like, all right, let's just like set 2 or 3 of them next to each other and make it so that they grow into each
Oh
other.
yes.
So then you'd have one big snake. That's what happens when you're
Yeah.
broke as a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah. You get pops.
Yep, you
Little
get-
pops and the
yep.
snakes
And black cats because
Yep.
those were super cheap.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so we're doing things a little bit different today.
We are.
I mean, we are like not really scripted.
No.
We're not really. I mean, we're never scripted, but we always have questions in front of us and things like that.
you
But
kind of have an idea of what
Yeah.
we're going to talk about.
yeah,
Ish.
this, who knows what the heck's gonna happen?
Yep. I didn't really take notes.
Plus, we have 2 guests that have been on before. They're both just lovely, lovely individuals, and they're oh god, they're so cute.
Should I
But
just intro them?
they're crazy.
They're crazy for wanting to come back. Let's be honest.
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it.
We've got a dynamic duo for you today on our podcast. As Chantel said, both are repeat guests of our show, and they have huge fan followings, primarily for different reasons. Our first guest really loves a good chipmunk voice. She has a huge impact on our employees with all of her benefits knowledge and helps lead our wellness program. So give it up for our Centris' very own Benefits Administrator, Chrissy Cunningham.
Whoop, whoop.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back.
And
Thank you.
our second guest is the face of Centris' social media platforms and is very well known as the content girl. Please welcome our marketing specialist, Megan Steiner.
Woo-hoo.
So happy to be back.
Okay, we are going to have so many people watching this and listening to this
Right.
because of this one here. I mean,
Yeah.
chipmunk voice.
Well, no,
mean,
I
come on.
can't.
No, I mean Chrissy's a star of like multiple videos.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
social media.
videos. Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
you
Have
guys
you
are
seen the
famous.
latest one?
I know,
frog
right?
one?
You direct them. You star in them, but then you find people to go into your videos, and she's
Chrissy's
very
one of
much
Yep,
she's
a
one of those
reg.
people.
Because you always have to twist my arm.
Hey, do you have
Because
another
I hate,
video? You have
I
another
hate
video
it.
I
I
can
hate
do?
being center of attention.
Said no one ever.
Said Chrissy
I
never.
said Chrissy never. Right.
Oh, so we started thinking about this, talking about savings. And then we were talking about, we wanted to go on vacation and we can, or we will, or when, and da 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 da. And then we were like, well, we should do this in a cool way where we're just talking. We're just having a chat, right? And we all are in different phases of our lives, right? So here I am, 29 years old, with a 21-year-old. oh God. No, with a married to Chad and have a 21-year-old son and a 16-year-old son. So that's where I'm coming from and how to plan for vacations and savings and things. So that's the perspective I will be taking today. And
Yep.
you?
Well, I am married to Chris.
They're gonna love us.
However, I'm what you would consider your geriatric mom, and I do have a 4-year-old, but I'm old. Like
You're 29 like with me.
I could probably parent the parents that drop their kids off into Augie's class.
Oh, is that true? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
1000% true. Yeah,
That's good.
Mhm.
That's cool though.
It's a great feeling when they look to you like, is it grandma dropping Augie off today? Oh, bless her heart. Look at her get into her car. Just
Slowly.
what they don't know is that I did like 500 air squats the night
That's right.
before.
That's
and
right.
I'm,
See,
it's
all
not
perspective.
geriatrics.
It's all
it's
perspective.
just muscle fatigue.
Yes.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm
your
sitting.
story today.
How about you, Chrissy?
Well, I come from the perspective of being married to Jeff, which is a great time, by the way. We met later in life, though. So both our first marriages. So we're in our 40s. Jeff barely in his 40s. And no kids, just a fur baby. So we've been together, married 2 years. So that's the perspective I'm coming from.
Love it.
Love it.
But I come
And,
from a very different perspective of no commitment.
Yes. Bring
So
me
gents,
back.
anybody out there?
Yes. So
if you love soccer, like long walks on the beach and ice cream. She likes root beer floats.
She does like a root beer float.
Oh,
once in a
God.
while.
I love what this
But,
is here.
Yeah, just loving life.
Yeah.
Living it up.
Yeah.
Just graduated college. Getting experience in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And killing it.
Yes.
Killing it in
Yes,
the corporate
yeah.
world.
with a capital K.
And she's got awesome hair. We talked about this
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah,
Like
yes.
awesome hair.
She also styled her headphones so that like her bangs
Yeah.
are coming. It's
It's important.
All
So
right.
maybe we should turn this into a setting Megan up podcast.
Well, yes. This is Megan. Let's. This is all farce, and this is just we're going to bring bachelors in.
Yep.
Right?
What you don't know is we have callers this time.
Yes. Oh my
Cam's gonna
God.
patch them through in our headphones.
Color number one.
Yeah. Please tell us your favorite color.
Oh God, this is going to be so good. Okay.
Okay.
Where shall we start?
Well, I think we'll just start from the beginning. Like, what does a vacation mean for you, and why is taking one important for you?
Oh, are you asking me?
Well, anybody. Caller number 1. Headphone jack 5.
Yes, there we go. For me, vacation is that reset, where you can just let go of all the things and have that mental break. And from my perspective, having older-ish kids, it's reconnecting because our oldest son doesn't live with us anymore and our other son is gone all the time. So it's really kind of bringing us all back together and going, oh, okay, let's let's just remember who each other is and see where we're each at.
So is vacation for you the whole family?
It was, and
Mhm.
now we're at this point where we go on vacation and maybe Ty can't go because
Yeah.
he's in school full time. And so that's been a real adjustment to my heart,
Mhm.
because you want your whole family, you want to have those experiences
Right.
together. But that's something you learn as they get older.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Vacation for me is just important to get away from work as much as I love my job and the people I work with. I've been known to sell back too much PTO. So
Oh,
my goal this year is to stop that. My husband is a big supporter in that. So just I agree with you, a reset time to connect and just have more experiences and memories.
Yeah.
That's what vacation is for me.
why do you think you're
Mm.
obviously in the HR world?
Mhm.
Why do you think we don't use our vacation?
I don't know. I think, well, I mean, I don't, sometimes being a woman, you feel you have to do all things, be all things all the time. And whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent, sometimes that's a pressure we put on ourselves.
Yep.
But I'll preach all day long to our employees how important work life balance is and how much we need to do that. My former boss would say, I'd say, "Oh, I can't take a day off. I'm so busy." And she's like, "Guess what? Centris's doors are still going to open. Our members are still going to get served, whether or not you're here." And she
Yeah.
said that in the most loving way, you know.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's true. We need to remember that, and we need to practice what we preach in that regard.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, me. You're looking at me. For me, it's just I need something to look forward to.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
just want to go, oh, okay, in 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be in Orlando or wherever, or in
Mhm.
Atlanta with my family or something. It's just important for me to try new things, see new things.
Yeah.
With the PTO thing, if I got it, I'm going to use it.
Atta
I'm going to go on.
Good.
Atta girl.
Good.
That's
You know,
great.
because I feel like with me, and especially my generation, we all really, really love a work-life balance. So if we got the
Mhm.
PTO, we're probably going to use it. I
Use
don't know
it.
if you've seen that, like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
That's
like,
how it should be. That's what it's there
earned it.
for.
Yeah.
I earned it.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a
Yes.
little bit.
Why is
So
that mindset so different
Right,
in the
in the
generations?
generations.
It's so interesting.
I was just going to bring that up. Like, it's fascinating to me how that generation is like good with just,
yeah.
I got it. I'm going to use it. It's
I'm
gone.
out.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
my
I'm out.
husband's up against the gun with his vacation. He's going to stop earning it here pretty soon. And he's been with HDR for 24 years. So for him, he's going to lose it. And I keep
Mhm.
telling him, I'm like, you have got to use
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
It's so important. And he's preaching that to his employees.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Use your
Crazy.
PTO, but then
Set the example.
he's not practicing what he's preaching.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, you're all looking at me now, so I guess it's my turn to
Yes,
explain.
please.
Please. Enlighten us.
So a couple things too. It's that refresh, reset. We are our roles are very heavy on the creative mind. We always have to be like thinking of the next best thing to be doing for our members in the community and for the different business areas that we support. And so we're always trying to think of everything and strategize. And to be completely honest, that can get burned out pretty quickly in our minds. So unplugging and just disconnecting from that and kind of letting our brain rest from
Yeah.
having to do that. That's one of the big reasons why I like to just take a vacation and just kind of get away from it.
Mhm.
That reset, refresh. It also, for me, as a kid, I didn't get to travel a lot. We didn't go on vacations. We couldn't really afford it. So for me, it's that opportunity to go and see things that I've never seen before, experience things that I've never experienced before. And now that I have little Augie, I want her to have the experiences that I didn't have starting now. That's what I want for her to have. I don't necessarily want her to have the things, but more
Mhm.
those memories and those experiences
Yeah.
so that when she gets to be Megan's age, she's gone places and been places and she's not going to feel like she has to make up for all of that time and try to figure out how to
Yeah.
get it all in, but she may have an idea of where she wants to go and who she wants to be because she's been able to go experience so many different things.
Yeah. And getting to the root of what we're trying to talk to about today too is you got to save for those experiences.
Right.
Like
They're not
How do you
cheap.
pay for it?
they're not cheap.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And if you really want to go all out and it is going to be the experience of a lifetime and it's the trip you're taking or many trips that you want to take or places you want to go, that's where we really wanted to just get across to listeners today that saving is so important, and it takes that stress off if you plan ahead and do that. So I think that was kind of the way we wanted to roll into this a little bit more is, what are some of you guys' go-to strategies when it comes to saving for vacations, or what does that look like now for you?
Jeff and I, we don't say, okay, we're going to put this amount of money towards this, or hey, we really want to go here and let's save, save, save. It's more as things come up, we have a savings. So the best thing that I've ever done is to have money come right out of my paycheck, go right into savings, a certain amount. So that savings can continue to build. And then we decide, are we going to use that to, buy a new air conditioner or
Really?
yeah, sometimes that happens. Or are we going to use it, hey, we've got this much in savings, it's time for a vacation, let's go. So we don't really strategize it.
Yeah.
But it's important that we have a safety net in the savings, and then everything above that, the fun, the fun stuff to have as well.
Yep.
So
Bringing up the air conditioning, she's bringing that up because that actually it hurts my
Oh,
heart.
I'm sorry. No, we're going through it potentially.
You are?
Potentially,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So sorry.
No, I forgot though that.
Yeah. So we have this, we do the same. So we take some money out of my check and put it into this little side hustle savings, right? And
Yeah.
that was just like kind of our fun. It's just happening. I don't even know what's happening. And then all of a sudden, oh, cool, we have some extra money. We can use this for vacation. And then your air conditioning goes out. And so you've got all this other savings, but then there's other things that always kind of pile up. So I think it's important for people to realize too that you save and save, and sometimes you're saving for this vacation. Sometimes life happens and you might have to like hold off on that vacation or hold off on doing like the fun things because adulting happens, which, is what it is. But it's hard not to get down about that. Like we were talking about the mental health of why vacations are so important. And when you can't take it and you think you're going to, it's like, dang, I'm in my head. I can't, so.
So our air conditioner, here's what happened to us. We put the first initial payment down on our vacation, and then the air conditioner broke, and we literally had to buy a whole new unit for our house. And so we had to say, okay, well, that half of the vacation is paid for. So that's good. We're going to have to just figure out how we're going to pay. We ended up going on a payment plan for the air conditioner. It's because it's like we don't want to necessarily put that on a credit card per se, because you just don't want that accumulating all that interest. And so we just kind of had to readjust and realign some things. And then when it came time to pay the last half, we were able to do that because we had put that aside from some other, I am a workaholic, so I have 3 jobs. So from my side hustles, I was able to take that money and just kind of keep it building so that I could pay off the rest of the vacation, so that it was all paid for in cash. So we didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. What I'm hearing is that we should just get rid of our air conditioning.
Right.
Yes.
Screw it and just go on vacation.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
I'm loving the apartment life.
Yes. Yes.
Water heater, not my problem. AC, not my problem.
Yeah. I'm going on vacation.
I'm going on vacay. I do the same thing though. Like I'll put money away every paycheck.
Yeah.
But then, I got a second job once over the summer because I knew, like, oh, okay, I have my sister's bachelorette party coming up, and I want to splurge on her. So I'm gonna have to get a second job on the weekends, and that worked out really well. Just to have some extra cash so that I knew all of those proceeds were gonna go to this trip that I didn't have to use on anything else.
Yes.
So that was really nice. Like probably not all the time because I really value my free time, but over the summer, nice gig.
Yeah.
Right. That was like a short term.
Short term.
You're like, this is what I want to do. So short term, I'm going to do this to get there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's so easy to put a vacation on a credit card. It's so easy to use home equity line of credit, whatever that looks like. And it's sometimes when you're not saving, you just do that. Say, this is so easy. I'll just charge it. It'll be fine.
Yep.
And you come back from your vacation, you're all high off of that. And then all of a sudden your bills start coming in. And that kind of diminishes that experience. You start forgetting about it because you're like, oh God, I'm paying for this. And so that's, again, why that savings, if you just have this little nest egg for it, it makes it a little bit easier maybe.
A healthy mix of credit debit.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
and it makes the actual trip more fun. So Jeff and I actually just this last weekend went with his siblings to Kansas City, and we did the Airbnb tickets to the baseball game. But we paid all of that months ago, and we got to Kansas City, and it was like we didn't have to worry about like
Yeah.
on the way home. We're like that wasn't an expensive weekend because we've already paid for
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
It was just what we spent that weekend, and
Yeah.
it's just a lot less like. Oh no, we don't have to tighten the bootstraps when we get back or
right.
anything. It gives you that peace of mind there, like, oh, this is already all paid for.
Yeah.
So let's splurge on dinner tonight or something.
Yeah.
Well, and I like that too. Like vacation doesn't necessarily have to be to, like the Bahamas, Jamaica,
Right.
Mexico,
Yes.
things like you don't have to go far.
Mhm.
We are very fortunate where we are in the US that we are very centralized. So it's very easy for us to get in the car and just drive for maybe 6, 8 hours
Yeah.
to a location that's a destination, if you will, and
Mhm.
we can have a really good time and be on a maybe a little smaller budget and
Yeah.
not have to spend thousands of dollars like
Yes.
you would flying out of the country.
Yeah. We were just talking about this that we knew that we weren't probably going to go anywhere crazy this year. So we've really started trying to do experiences, but whatever those look like in our own city. So things that we didn't see, haven't seen this park or haven't gone to this restaurant or things like that. And we did that last weekend, just randomly going places, but not planning to have the experiences. We just showed up at places. Oh, we've never been here before. And that felt like a vacation, like a mini vacation over the weekend. So there's ways to do it and still have going back to that mental health piece of it. Like this was fun and relaxing. And I learned more about my own city that I live in. So
Yeah.
fun. All right. So how do you balance enjoying your trip while keeping those costs down? Because you kind of said that you paid for it beforehand.
Yeah.
But what are some other ways that you guys can do that while you're on your trips?
So if we're doing local, like if it's going to be, we're going to be able to drive somewhere, Colorado, Kansas City, wherever it might be, we have found, and if we're doing with Jeff's siblings or with a group of people, that doing an Airbnb is cheaper than us getting a hotel room,
Yeah.
because we're all pitching in money together, and that really helps bring the cost down. So if we're not going somewhere that's an all inclusive, just more local, that for us. And then also too, you can bring some groceries in, so you don't have to eat
Yes.
out every time. It's not breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so that can all help with the cost there
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
A lot of my trips are to see my family, whether that's in Atlanta, Chattanooga, whichever.
Yes.
So free housing on that.
Yes.
So
Free
that's so
accommodation.
nice.
That's a big cost
Yeah.
savings for me. But when I'm going somewhere they aren't, I tend to be a very bougie hotel goer. So I love, like, if I know I'm not going to do a lot on the trip, like I'm going to Orlando soon, I know I'm not going to do a lot, I'll get a nicer hotel so I can spend time at the pool or something like that. So I
Yes.
don't have to go out and find something to
Right.
do.
Right.
Which, when you think about it, doesn't that save money?
Right.
It
A
does.
little bit. I mean, you can think of it any way you want to. But however, when I studied abroad, and the US isn't really big on hostels, but Europe is, I stayed in hostels all the time
Did
because
you?
bougie hotels are not in the budget at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So talk us through that experience. I've
Hostels.
never been through.
Yeah, I've
Dude,
never been to a hostel.
So you check in like a regular hotel, but the rooms have like however many like people you want to share with. So some of them have like private rooms, but those usually cost more. And then you can get like a 4-bed or 6,
Okay.
8. I saw one with like 14 beds one time. I did not pick that option because
wow.
I
Yeah.
like a little bit of privacy at least when I sleep. But
Yeah.
no, and it was so cheap to
Really?
do that way. And then you
Yeah.
just got a little locker, put all your stuff in when you left. Because when you're in Europe, you're not at the hotel. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
ever.
Right.
I'm not in my room anyway. It's just a place to sleep. So
Great.
that was a good cost savings, especially in Europe. But yeah, I wish the US did a little bit more of those, but hotels it is in the
Yes.
US.
Bougie for you. All the way.
Bougie hotels for me. I mean, not like super bougie, but bougie enough.
Yes.
Well, I was gonna say, Chrissy kind of took mine. It's that Airbnb experience so that you can go get those groceries, bring your own food, and you're not going out to eat all the time and spending money there. Um, I'm somebody that if I am traveling, I try to find that all-inclusive option or something that provides you maybe a couple of those meals or gives you vouchers for things. That's kind of how we travel is we just try to find those types of places that we can stay. We also do like to go outside of the US quite a bit. So that's, we like those resorts and things like that and seeing the ocean. We're kind of ocean freaks. But
Yeah. Same. And we will buy, like, we'll get to, like, we love going to Florida, and we'll go to the grocery store and get food for lunches, try to find a hotel that has free breakfast, and then,
Yep.
make your lunches, and then maybe go out that night. It's an easy way to save a little bit here and there. But we haven't done an Airbnb yet. And so I too love the bougie hotels. But I worked in the travel industry for over 20 years. There's a lot of discounts that you get. And so I was able to experience that through those benefits. But, those hotels, the concierge is so important because they can help tell you things that you may not know, learn about the culture and things like that. So I love that aspect of it. But I love the aspect of a Airbnb because you can go back to a house or whatever that looks like, and kind of, experience your own cooking. I know, Liz, you love to cook, and having that opportunity to cook. And my husband loves to cook, but he doesn't want to cook on vacation.
Vacation.
So there's this balance of spending the money, saving the money, doing the things that we would do at home, kind of thing that you don't want to do.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah. Yeah.
So speaking of that, how do you find the best travel deals and discounts? I mean, being in the travel industry, kind of have an idea of where we can find that. How do you,
Yeah.
being in that industry, how do you now today, since you're not, how do you find those deals?
I don't know. That's where I'm at. I think we were going to talk about this a little bit later, is where are you at in your evolution of saving? This is all new to me. Like, I am floored how much airline tickets are, because I had this benefit of, traveling, which is amazing. And I was talking to my good friend Heather Coughlin, and she, shout out to Heather, because she's been in the industry for travel industry for over 25 years, and she was giving me some reminders because she always would handle vacation travel. And for her, a lot of people don't know that you should go to a travel advisor for those type of, bigger trips. I know, Liz, you just used one, and people think it's a lot more expensive, but for me, it's that safety and security that you're getting. You have 24/7 attention by someone who can help you if you need help. My parents saved and saved and saved, and they traveled the world, and it was amazing to see that, the opportunity to do that. But they always had an agent. They always used a travel agent because they wanted to make sure there was someone to pick them up, take them to the next place, and they felt safe because they had never traveled anywhere outside the US. And so, just kind of having that security, I think, is important. She also mentioned, book early, especially if, finding those discounts. If you want this to be your experience, like, make sure you're booking early, talking to the hotels, and, like, booking the excursions through, them, so they know that are reputable, and things along those lines. So, lots of ways to look at it.
That's good. So I've never used an agent. I always just think, oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so expensive,
Yeah.
more expensive to do that.
Yeah. It's just that peace of mind. I remember being stranded, and I saw the line that was 500 years long in the airport, and I was able to call the agent, and we settled it all on the phone, and that was it.
Wow.
So when you're doing, especially, I mean, the domestic trips, you can book through the hotel, do the things. But if it's that once in a lifetime trip, a wedding, or, a European tour or something like that, I would highly recommend it for sure.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I use a travel agent. We have for several of our vacations, and she's amazing. She comes back, she finds the deals, the discounts, the things she offers, like even with flights too. Like,
Mhm.
she's looking at all the different flights. She had booked us a flight back in September, and originally we were going to go from Omaha to Denver, then down to Mexico. And she was like, "That's a really long flight." She knew we had our toddler with us, and she's like, "That's a really long flight for a toddler." She got to thinking, and she went back and looked at other flights without us even asking her to do that. She went back and looked at other flights, found us a different flight, cheaper flight,
Mhm.
Oh,
and
wow.
got us into St. Louis, which got us further south. And then our flight to Mexico from St. Louis wasn't nearly as long as it would have been from Denver.
Right.
And so she cut our time in half there, and then also cut our price down.
Yeah.
So we were able to get a really good deal on our entire trip. I mean, she sent us the cost for the whole trip, and we were gone several days. And I mean, it was one of those where it's like you have to pull the trigger on this because you're not
Mhm.
going to find that
Yeah.
anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend talking to an agent just because they can find the deals, they know where to look, they know who to talk to, they have contacts everywhere. So they can find those discounts. So I will never ever book a trip without her 'cause
Wow.
she's amazing.
It's
Mhm.
like the financial savings that we're talking about, but it's that time
Yep.
savings.
Yep.
Mhm.
How
Mhm.
important, again,
That
going back
mental
to, yes,
health.
mental, right? That trying to rush from here to there or waiting in the airport for 6 hours, that's not good on the body at
Right.
all. So, yeah,
Especially with the food options that are in the airport.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Or for me and my sister, it's, well, do we buy the plane tickets today or are they going to be
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
expensive next week?
You have no idea.
Do we wait? I don't know. I don't know.
Right. And
I
what was
know.
the
I
old
wish I had
saying?
an
Like,
answer.
wait and buy the tickets on Tuesday.
Yes.
The second Tuesday, it's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, trying
Yeah.
to remember that.
Yep.
Okay, we're all really busy, really, really busy. So, a couple thoughts on that mindset. How do you manage to find time for vacations with your busy schedules? And then, what challenges do you face when you're planning them, being so busy? And we're all busy professionals. We've all got a lot going on at
Mhm.
work, a lot going on outside of work.
I think you have to commit to it and make it a priority. I always have guilt. I work with a small department, and it's all self-imposed. It's not my team that does this, but it's like, gosh, we're gonna have coverage. Is this a bad time to go? When do we go? But at the end of the day, no one's gonna hold me back. It's me that's
Mhm.
holding it back. So um it's making it a priority and making that commitment to do it.
Yeah. I'm going to give a shout out to the 2 ladies that I work with in my department because they have made it easy for me. N Maybe not easy because they are on me, on this when I go on vacation, but just go. Because
Mhm.
if you can't trust your team,
Right.
then there's another fundamental problem that's going. And I told, was it last year? Last year when I
Mhm.
went on the cruise and I was out, like I could not get reception, anything. I have never in my 20-year career felt relaxed, like super relaxed on a vacation, like not thinking about work. And
Mhm.
they allowed that to happen
Mhm.
because when you put, yourself in a team and you're in an environment that you can do that, then that's the right place for you. So
Yes.
it's deeper than just go on a vacation, it's finding the place that allows that to
Mhm.
happen and the people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, it's a whole lot a whole lot easier. Um, like when probably I don't manage people, so it's probably a lot easier for me to like let go and oh yeah, I'm gonna go. Okay, but
We
I
miss you more
Okay.
than you miss us.
Right. Yep. That's what she's saying. She's like,
um,
bye, bees.
Don't
but
call me.
Mm-hmm.
like
Deuces.
if I know I can get everything done for you, like right before I go, or have time to explain something that might come up when I
Yeah.
leave, it's a whole lot less.
Yes. Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Preparing.
If I can make that list or check things off for you guys so that when I'm gone, you're not having to worry about anything. It's just that stuff that might come up when I'm out.
Mhm.
Or like we've been really good about, or we've been trying to be really good about putting together just like process documents of the things that we could do in our sleep that maybe each other couldn't do. Like we could definitely jump in and figure it out,
Yeah.
but those step by steps, like here's what I do and how I do it to get it done quickly. That's super helpful. But so for me personally, one of the challenges that I face, because I am in several places, so I work with you ladies at Centris, but then I also have several nutrition clients that I am their go-to and their accountability person. But then I also have my athletes at the gym that I coach, and so I have to remember that they're all taken care of, and it's a self-imposed guilt. I feel very
Mhm.
guilty
Same.
leaving them,
Mhm.
and I feel like I'm like leaving them high and dry,
Mhm.
and they don't have me to connect with when I'm gone. But at the end of the day, I have some pretty awesome clients that are like, no, go, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
This is a chance for me to see if I can do this on my own. I will have questions, but I'll come to you when you get back. So like you said, Chrissy, it's so self-imposed. And I don't know
Mhm.
why we do that to ourselves, but we put that guilt on ourselves. So I think for me, that's one of my biggest challenges is just feeling like I'm letting people down because
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But I'm coming back.
Right.
Sorry.
Not sorry.
Not sorry, but kind of sorry.
I know we were kind of talking a little bit before about the things that we should do. How do we save, I guess, while we're on the trip? And one of the things that I failed to mention was thinking about travel insurance.
Oh,
yes.
I think from when you're purchasing a vacation and you've done the airline, the hotel, the car rental, whatever that looks like, and then all of a sudden, now do you want travel insurance? I don't need another $200, $300, $400 on that, or whatever it looks like.
so worth it.
So incredibly worth it. And that was another thing that Heather wanted to make sure she kind of conveyed to us. You might think that it's more expensive, but if something happened and you had to be taken off a cruise ship, that this is an example that our cruise director told us when we were planning our cruise. It could cost $50,000 to get a helicopter to a ship to get you off of that ship. So if you have travel insurance, that's going to help cover most of that, or whatever that looks like. But just to think if something does happen, just to have that coverage. So that's your savings, that mind, and that just putting your mind at ease that, okay, if something happens, that it's going to save me in the long run.
Yeah. And like
literally.
yeah, right now that hurricane's about to hit,
Right.
the resorts in Jamaica, and it's like all those people, gosh, I hope they had travel insurance.
Yeah.
Because that's going to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's like lighten it up a little bit here.
Yep. Sorry.
Gosh.
Wah, wah.
What has been your most memorable trips that you maybe had to like save for? You're like, you know what, we got to save for this. We can't just go tomorrow or whatever. What does that look like?
Well, those would be young Chrissy years, probably.
Ooh, tell us all of
So
it.
that would be, it was put on the credit card and paid off years later, probably.
What am I paying on? I don't even remember.
What is on this card? So the first time I saw the ocean, I went with a bunch of girlfriends to Cancun. And so we did the all-inclusive. And back then, I mean, I'm sure that was so expensive for me, but I remember had that credit card my parents never told me to get, that I just sure put it on there.
Did you get a free pizza by signing
right,
up?
Right. Probably.
The
Yeah.
headphones.
Yes.
I doubt I even got that. I probably had to pay to get the credit card at that point in time. Here you go. Take more money. So now that's why it's so important to Jeff and I mean, I've transitioned from that, vacation. You always put it on the credit card, right? And you paid it off. And now you might put it on the credit card to reserve the reservation, but then you make sure you pay that credit card off right away. So then when we go on vacation, it's done and paid for it. I don't have to come back to bills.
No,
so,
Right.
absolutely.
Well, and you don't want that vacation to turn into what was a $2,500 vacation. All that interest accrued, you're now paying a $5,000 vacation.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or feel like we can't do this excursion because we've already spent so much on this, and
that's a
type
real
of thing.
thing.
Yeah.
You have that like budget guilt while on vacation, like, ugh.
Buyer's remorse type.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Then it just takes a few rum runners.
Yeah.
Drink a few rum
And then-
runners,
and
and
then
you
you're
forget about
fine.
that.
You're at
It's
an
fine.
all-inclusive. You're like, can you fill that up?
Right.
2 shots of vodka,
Right.
not one, please.
And then you're parasailing and you forget all about it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Fine.
Sure, I'll take that henna tattoo. Go right ahead.
Beads in my hair? Yep.
Yes, all of it. Let's do it.
Oh man, I did not plan this one or anything, but my family came up to visit me right before I was done studying abroad. So they visited me in Berlin. Then we went to Lisbon, Portugal. Ugh,
Oh, wow.
beautiful time.
Amazing.
But if I had to pick a vacation that I planned, it would be like probably the only vacation I planned was my sister's bachelorette party.
Yes.
Because it was just a rewarding experience to have like, okay, I'm going to work for this. I can splurge a little bit. And then, okay, here's my first trip to the beach like in the US at least. And then,
that was your first time to the beach
in the US.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Wow.
I mean, I dipped my feet in the water
Yes.
in Lisbon, but I mean, it was cold. It wasn't
Yes.
as fun as like
Yes.
a Florida beach.
Yes, right.
First time in Florida too.
Oh,
But then, I got a nicer boat than a pontoon because I
Yeah.
worked for it, so
Oh,
we could
nice.
do this
Yes.
and just have a good time. Have
yes.
a bonfire on the beach.
Fun.
Ugh.
See the little crabs walking around.
Can you just plan our next
I know.
vacation?
Yeah.
I think we're just gonna have her do that.
No,
Right.
but it was then I got like, okay, mom and dad, thank you so much for all the planning you have done, like
Yeah.
for all the vacations that we've taken.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, this is stressful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
how are we gonna stay in budget and what are we all gonna do or what does everyone want to do? Oh my gosh. But it was well worth it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I love it.
Beautiful.
That's kind of cool. Like her perspective going on those trips and like looking back at what her parents
Mm-hmm.
like you get to live that. I'm not going to get to live that for quite a while because it'll be a long shot before Augie and I'll be really geriatric at that point. Augie will have to wheel me to the beach. But that's kind of a cool perspective of how you get to kind of look now at what your parents did to get you guys on vacation and now just to get yourself and maybe your sister because you wanted to splurge on her,
Mhm.
like getting just that one
Yeah.
other person. That's cool.
Yeah.
So probably my favorite vacation experience would have to be when my husband and I went and got married in the Dominican Republic, and that we did 10 days. And we knew we wanted to do a very long time away. So have the 10 days there. And also the rules of like you have to be down there for so many days before you get married, which is kind of weird. Whatever. So we both came from this is our second marriage. And both of us in our first marriage, there was a lot of money issues and financial issues, and our significant others at that time weren't very good savers. So it was just a different world of having to put everything on credit cards and things like that. So we made a pact with each other that while we want to do this, we're going to pay this off, and we're going to do it in chunks. And so we literally would pay chunks of the trip off. So by the time we got there and we're gone, we didn't have to worry about anything. It was all taken care of. The only thing we had to worry about was that the other one was going to be down at the end of the aisle
Yeah.
Yes.
and not laying in the sand somewhere because they had too many drinks in the pool that morning. So
That never
um,
happens.
never happens. So yeah, that I would say that's probably my favorite vacation experience. And any vacation that he and I have taken since, we have that same mentality of we're gonna work for it, we're gonna pay it, and we're gonna pay it off because we don't want that
Mhm.
to be lingering when we come home and we don't want to think about it and it's done. And when we go, we can truly just relax. And if there's anything else we want to do, well, that's
Yeah.
just extra. And we always make sure too that we take out a certain amount of cash with us because we don't like to take cards when we go, overseas or
Mhm.
on vacation like that. And we just make sure we have an allotted amount of cash, and that's our budget for when we're gone. And
Yeah.
we use that, and we don't feel guilty because
Yeah.
we've budgeted for that.
I think as we think we're talking about a lot of awesome vacations that we've had the experience and we've been very lucky. All of us have been very fortunate to be able to go on those, and sometimes that's just not in the cards,
Right.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you have, saving and or putting even vacation into your daily thought process is hard. And again, that kind of goes back to that's okay. Make that a goal if that's what you want. But
Right.
maybe the goal is to save for a car or house or whatever that looks like. But at the end of the day, again, it doesn't need to be this extravagant thing.
Right.
It can just be what an experience looks like and what your savings can add up to. And I guess what we've been trying to communicate throughout, as we're marketing and all the things in a financial is it's little baby steps because it just adds up, just, taking that step to acknowledge if I just save $5 here, if I don't go get a Starbucks and I
Right.
save it,
Yep.
then that's going to add up. And eventually that builds up to whatever you're looking for to save. I don't want it to think like, oh, everybody should be able to go on these lavish
Right.
whatever.
Oh yeah. No.
That's not a thing in real life. And again,
Right.
your AC goes out,
Yep.
you're
Yeah.
gonna go to Runza and have a Runza and an
Yeah.
ice cream cone instead. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just things that just happen. So
Or you get that Runza and you guys find a park and you sit
yeah,
in the park and enjoy like a sunset or
right.
whatever. And
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the root of this is yes, there's kind of twofold here. Go on vacation, take the time away from work from a mental health standpoint. Relax, get away from the the regular day to day if you can.
Right.
Take the vacation. But at the end of the day, do what just fills your bucket, whatever that looks like.
What makes your heart happy?
Yeah, exactly.
And do it with the people that you want to do it, like you love and you want to spend that time with, because that's, like you said, you're making those memories and bonding with them and connecting with them. And
Yeah. And I think when, we started talking about what our perspectives are, my kids are growing, and we talked about this a little bit at the beginning. They're going to be gone doing their own thing. They're already doing their own thing. They're already going on their own vacations with friends. And it's like, well, that stinks. I remember when they were Augie's age and doing all the things and all the fun things. And, you miss that.
Yeah.
You wish things away sometimes. Like, oh, I wish they would walk. I wish they'd talk. I wish they'd do this. I wish they'd go on their own vacation together. Well, no, now I want them to come. And they don't want to come with us on their
Right.
vacations. So, just take that all into perspective, I think. So.
Well, another good way, shout out to Centris. So I'm someone who has caviar taste on a Cheez-Its budget. And when you think of saving for vacations, you feel like, oh, I got to do $100 a paycheck or whatever. But shout out to Centris and our Roundup program.
Yeah.
right.
Such an easy way so for those of our listeners that don't know, you sign up for your Roundup program. So if I'm spent for every dollar or for every purchase I make, the remaining amount of the dollar automatically goes to savings. So if I spent 80 cents on something, the remaining 20 cents automatically goes into my savings. And then it'll show you over time, just by doing that, how much you save. I don't miss those 20 cents,
No.
in that moment, but over time, that can really add up. And so saving doesn't have to be this big production every paycheck. It can
Right.
be small
Such a good
baby
point.
steps
Yep.
like that.
Right. That's a really good point.
And I think one thing to as many blogs as I've written about saving, the first thing I always start out with is have a goal. Whether that's you want to stay in Omaha for the weekend or just
Yeah.
or go on an all-inclusive, have a goal that you want to save towards and write it down, because studies show you're more likely to do it if you actually write it down and you have a goal. Just, saving without any goal in mind, you probably aren't going to make, you're going to feel like you didn't make it as well as if you
Yes.
had a goal in
Right.
mind. So have a goal, because it'll just motivate you a little bit more too to put
Yeah.
that money away.
And there's
stash it away.
some individuals in our area that have vision boards. I love that.
Yes, I do
And
too.
I was talking with my husband about that. I'm like, we should do that, for whatever we want or trip we want to go on or whatever that looks like. Just create that so it's visual. Put all the things on there that you want, that you aspire to be, manifest it, look at it, talk about it, and help with that goal, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Penny or two for your thoughts. We always end on that. And I still think we should do that in this episode. I know we've taken things a little differently this time.
I love it.
What advice would you give someone who wants to start saving for their dream vacation, but just doesn't know where to start? Megan, I know you kind of kicked that off for us. So
Yep. Have a goal. One thing that I started doing this year too is just have that money from my paycheck automatically go to a high yield savings account. And it's like, oh, I don't even miss it
Don't even
because
miss
I
it.
didn't even know it was there in the first place. And it's a whole
Yes.
different account separate from my other bank account. So it's like, oh, I didn't even know it was there. And it's adding up quickly. So
Very good.
it's just kind of in the back of the mind. Good saving habit.
Look at her. She's
I'm
all
learning
grown
so
up.
much.
I know. We're going to be all toothless and she's just going to be.
I know.
But
Proud
yeah,
of her.
have a goal and automatic savings.
Very good. Very
Love
good.
it. Make the commitment, make the time, book it so you can't get out of it. I mean, that's coming from my PTO hoarding self.
Yes.
I think that's important too, is to, decide that you're going to do it and then find a way to make it happen.
Yeah. I would say make the experiences. It's not about the things, save the money to be able to go on the trip or whatever that looks like, to make the experiences with the people that you love and want to be around.
Right. I love that. Mine is, we all have those dream vacations, and sometimes those dream vacations are pretty darn expensive, but don't forget about those small little moments that you can have, even just going in your own city, or maybe driving a couple hours and spending a day somewhere in another town or city, and just making those memories and those experiences, because while that dream vacation is something we can aspire for, you don't want to miss
Yeah.
out on those little moments just because you're stuck saving for that big
Right.
vacation. You want to still
Mhm.
keep making those memories and doing the things you want to live, right? We don't want to. Life is short,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so you want to keep doing those things. So that's the advice that I would give is keep saving for that dream vacation, find a way to make it happen, but don't forget to have those memories and those experiences in the meantime.
Absolutely. I love this little coffee talk we
I
had
do too.
today.
I feel like we could just push the view off and just have our own.
I know,
Yes.
right? We started so spicy, and then we just
Yeah.
kind of got this real like
Because it's
mellow.
vacation.
Yes,
like,
relaxing.
Yes.
yeah.
I bet he pumped some oxygen or something into the room.
Yeah.
'cause he knew we were spicy coming in.
Yeah.
Cam, are you there?
I'm here.
I was like, did he fall asleep?
Where is the best? What's the best trip you saved for?
The a couple times we went to Mexico and Jamaica,
Yeah.
but it wasn't just me and my wife. It was like 14 to 17 of us.
Oh,
and we
wow.
just
Oh,
went to these all-inclusive resorts and just had a blast. Like we were the biggest group of people there, so they knew we were there. You know,
Love it. Yes.
I love those.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I like being at those resorts and seeing those groups of people
Mhm.
and how much fun they're having. I actually laugh. I have no idea what they're laughing about, but man, they're having a good time.
Yeah.
I love
I
seeing
want to
that.
be their friends.
Right. I know. Like, can I get invited to your party?
Yeah.
So that's actually what what's in the cards for us. We're hoping in February to do all inclusive Jamaica with friends. So
Oh,
Fun.
yeah, so we're hoping to aspire to be like Cam's group. There.
Oh, be careful what you wish
Yeah.
for.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. That's a wrap. No, I'm just kidding. I won't end it that way.
Don't you have some emails and phone numbers to get out?
Yeah. Cam was like, what?
Huh?
It's like, that's really how you're ending it? No. Thank you, Megan and Chrissy, always for chatting with us every day at lunch, but also today here. We enjoy that conversation and really giving our listeners amazing insights, their real life experiences, and things to think about when they're planning for a vacation or that staycation. And thank you to our listeners. We wouldn't be here without you, of course. If there's a financial topic you want to learn more about, you can email us at apennyforyourthoughts@centrisfcu.org, and we'll track down the right expert to come onto the show. And you can help others find us and build up their financial capability by rating, reviewing, and sharing episodes. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. Keep up with all of our shows because you know you want to. And I have to do this plug because Megan would really appreciate it. Be sure you're following Centris on Facebook, Instagram, X, and LinkedIn for all of the amazing insights that she provides and the awesome videos. You'll get to see Chrissy and a few of our other friends at Centris. You can also check out our website at centrisfcu.org, where we publish more valuable content. Or, honestly, if you'd just rather talk to somebody, you can give us a call at 402-334-7000, and you can chat with one of our wonderful experts there. And as always, thanks for listening. Now turn off this podcast and go plan that next vacation.
Thanks, everyone.